was your takeaway?
It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. My takeaway, this freshman, you know, what is it? Tagovailoa?
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
No,
Tagovailoa.
Just call him Tua.
Hit the low.
Listen, the kid is special. The kid. Hey, Max, we didn't ask you. You get your chance.
You wanted how to pronounce it.
Here's the deal. Well, I appreciate it. Here's the deal. The kid is special. There's a new quarterback at Alabama playing for Nick Saban. I give Nick Saban mad props, which is something we'll get into later, for making that switch at halftime. But I got to tell you something right now. If it wasn't for Tim Tebow, I just don't know what I would have done. I came in there looking like a depressed puppy because I could not believe how awful Alabama's offense looked in the first half. I went from picking them to win the game to wondering whether or not they were going to score a point. They were getting beat up. They were getting out-muscled, out-hustled in every way, and Nick Saban and them seemed devoid of answers. And then Nick Saban showed why he's so great, because he had the courage to make the call that he made to a backup that only saw garbage time during a few games during the regular season. But ultimately, he was able to give them a spark. The defense responded. I don't understand for the life of me why Kirby Smart didn't give the ball to Sony Michel more, who averaged 7 yards a carry. I thought he should have had more than 14 carries. But in the end, what it came down to is that Alabama found a way, because of a true freshman that was inserted into the lineup with a 13-point deficit in a national championship game, and took the moment and just ran with it. It was something special to behold, and I also got to watch it with my boy Tim Tebow. What can I say?
I got a lot to say about Saban today. So we're going to talk more about him in a minute, but I want to start with Nick Saban, because, Stephen A., you touched on something that a lot of people were talking about and tweeting about, and a lot of my friends were calling, and everyone was talking about the guts that Nick Saban showed to make that switch. You go to a true freshman quarterback, a kid who'd only lost 2 college football games as a starting quarterback in his college career. You sit him down for a true freshman. But I don't think it's exactly guts. I think guts is not the right way to say it. It is true that Saban prepared a move and then made it. And a lot of times you see people prepare to do something and then they don't really do have the guts to pull the trigger. But I don't think that's what was really shown there. What I think was shown with that move is Nick Saban's recruiting once again. He had the #1 run-pass option quarterback out of high school in the nation, the #1 guy sitting on his bench. You know, we talked about going into the game, I brought it up several times yesterday, 37 Under Armour All-Americans on Alabama, more than the 3 other teams involved in the college football playoff this year combined. 32 combined, 37 on Alabama. And Nick Saban took a kid who wanted to go to USC his entire life. Then he runs into Nick Saban and he goes, all right, I'm going to go to Alabama. It's the recruiting. If you want to talk about guts, actually pulling the trigger on the move, okay, but when you really think about it, what do you have to lose at that point? You're down big. The way the game is going, you are going to lose anyway, and you have this kid on your bench because you're Nick Saban, and you went out and got the #1 guy who had dreamt his whole life of going to another team. That's really what I saw last night once again, Nick Saban's recruiting.
Tim?
Listen, guys, I agree with all 3 of you. Molly, resilience, that's a great word. Stephen A., guts, that's another great word. Max, recruiting, that's another great word. But I think above all 3 of those words, I think last night was about hope. You go through the first half, and it's the first time that I can remember that Alabama has been out-Alabama'd by another team. See, a lot of times when they lose or when they're losing, it's because another team has huge offensive plays. Ole Miss has a quarterback on fire, or a quarterback's just tearing it up, or Alabama has turnovers. That wasn't the case. Georgia was consistently beating them at the line of scrimmage and on 3rd down, and therefore they're losing 13-0 going into halftime. And to me, it looked like they were void of hope, because the offense was stagnant. There was nothing they could do. It wasn't like there was open plays, but they were missing them. No, they were getting shut down at the line of scrimmage with their QB running game and their zone read, and also they had no passing game. So what did Nick Saban do at halftime? He gave the team hope by putting in Tua, giving them a chance. And I think when Tua came into the game, because of his left arm, he gave that team hope. So especially after the 3rd and 7, he scrambled, he got a first down. Then he was able to drive him down the field, hit a dig route, back of the end zone, touchdown. He gave the offense hope, the special teams hope, and probably biggest of all, the defense hope to continue fighting because the offense could come through at the end. And then the game continues back and forth, back and forth. But in overtime, 2nd 26, they had hope because of his left arm, and I think hope got it done for Alabama in the end of the game.